Hey friends, God bless you. Pastor Bill Walden here with Build Up the Church. And this is a devotional word for October 23rd, 2024. And this is out of the book of 1 Timothy, and we are in chapter 5. In 1 Timothy chapter 5, the Apostle Paul is instructing Timothy about the considerations of the character and the qualifications of church leaders. He's also telling him how to treat people within the church, and he's instructing him to take care of himself. And one of the things that he talks about here in regards to considering people within the church is to realize that sometimes we need to wait to really see what people are like. I think it's especially important for pastors in this regard that if you're believing that there are additional leaders needed within a church to help with the ministry, to help care for the people, that you not rush into it. The Apostle Paul tells Timothy, don't lay hands hastily on someone, lest you share in their sin. You might be laying hands on somebody that is really deep in some kind of sin or something like that, and you're ordaining them to ministry, and it's just not a good thing. And so the Apostle Paul is instructing him to move slowly, to move cautiously, to move carefully, to move observantly. So we picked up these couple of verses here in 1 Timothy chapter 5, verse 24. He's saying, Timothy, some men's sins are clearly evident, preceding them to judgment, but those of some men will follow later. Timothy, sometimes it's really easy to see that a man or a woman is clearly living an ungodly lifestyle, and God will judge them for that, and it's easy to see. He says, however, but the sins of some men will follow later. In other words, some people seem to have the ability to hide their sinful behaviors quite well, to conceal them. Now, I'm not talking, and I don't believe Paul's talking about people that just struggle with life. I mean, every Christian on earth struggles with an attitude or something. So I don't think Paul is talking about that. He's talking about those who, in my evaluation of the passage, he's talking about those men and women who are inconsistent in their Christian life. They are saying that they love God, but in many ways in their life, they're not loving God deliberately, purposefully. And they have grown adept at hiding their sins from people. But Paul says, Timothy, some men's sins are clearly evident, preceding them to judgment. Some guys, some gals, it's going to be real obvious to you, Timothy. But secondly, those of some men follow later. In other words, if you wait a while and watch somebody and get to know them, Timothy, you'll be able to see what they're really like. Conversely, sometimes there are people in our church, I'll call them sleepers, that are amazing Christians. They just love God with all their heart, and they work quietly, without notice, without fanfare. They don't attract attention to themselves. They don't try to get congratulated. They don't try to promote themselves. They are just quiet, faithful, godly, loving, holy people. And they can almost go overlooked. But if you wait long enough, you'll get to those good qualities in them. Their commitment to God, to Jesus, to the church will come through. He says in verse 25, likewise, the good works of some are clearly evident. Some people you just know right away that they're good, godly people. And he says, and those that are otherwise cannot be hidden. In other words, there are some people that are almost embarrassed, I think, when their good works become known publicly. There's people like that in our church. I know, I can think of some right off the bat that they'll just try to deflect any kind of admiration or any kind of appreciation regarding their good works to the Lord. So, Timothy, church leaders, it's not going to hurt you to move slowly. I don't think we have to be in a rush to put people into ministry. It has been said, and I definitely agree with this, regarding pastors appointing people into ministry. It's harder to get them out of ministry than it is to get them in. And so we want to move slowly. Let me read the New Living Translation. I love it. Remember, the sins of some people are obvious, leading them to certain judgment. But there are others whose sins will not be revealed until later. Verse 25, in the same way, The good deeds of some people are obvious, and the good deeds done in secret will someday come to light. So I think this also spills over and extends to every Christian. If you're a single person wanting to get married someday, be careful, take it slow, and get to know the person. I wouldn't rush into marriage because you're infatuated and head over heels in love with somebody without really knowing what their life is about. If you're a family hiring a nanny to help with the kids, I would move cautiously. I would wait. I'd really get some referrals and that kind of thing. If you're an employer and you're hiring people for important positions, well, they're all important, but you know what I mean, more positions of more responsibility, I'd go slowly. I wouldn't be quick to promote somebody just because there's a need. I think that's a mistake that sometimes we make in our lives. As a pastor, there's a need in the church, we got to fill it right away. No, you don't. I don't think so. There's somebody that's lonely. I'm a single person. I just want to meet somebody. They said they're a Christian. It must be a good fit. God brought them to me. Let's get married. And no, you need to move slowly, so on and so forth. So there is great advantage to being patient and seeing what a person is really made of. So it made me think of Jesus. I mean, he spent the whole night praying before he appointed 12 men to be his apostles. Also, he had spent a lot of time with them already, so he kind of knew what they were like. So, and we see that pattern in the scriptures. We see it written out for us in the scriptures. I think we do well to be patient and discover what somebody's really about. So some things to think about. Thanks.